Here are a couple examples of the greatest common factor, or the GCF. When you have two numbers or three numbers or four numbers, the process is all the same. What you're going to do is do the factor tree on these. So you just find, first off, you find two numbers and multiply to 20, any two. And you keep breaking them down until they're to the prime factor tree, all the way down, 2, 2. So what this is saying is that 2 times 2 times 5 is 20, and that's true. So we're just looking at the ends of the branches. Same thing here, it doesn't matter how you break it down as long as you break it down correctly. 3 times 2 times 5 is 30. Get it down to the prime factor tree out at the end. Now we're just looking at the very ends here, so I'll highlight this so that we're not confused. Only the ends. Forget everything else and just looking at the ends. Now I'm going to go through this process. Don't get it mixed up with the LCD. It's the greatest common factor. When you're looking for the greatest common factor, you're looking for what's in common. Keep that in mind for this. What's in common? Common, common, common. Basically, look at these things and what are in common. And I'm going to circle them. A 2 is in common. They only have one 2 at the end of the branches. Yes, this one has a 2, and this one has another 2, but the 30 doesn't have another 2. So only circle what all 3 of them, or all 4 of them, or 2 of them, or whatever it is, has in common. Okay, what else is in common on all 3? Yeah, the 5, and the 5. At the ends of the branches. Don't look anywhere else, only at the ends, which I have in yellow. Then nothing else is in common. This has a 3, this has a 3, this does not. So now I just take the number that I see under any one of them, this one, or this one. They should all have the same 2 numbers circled, right? 2 times 5. That's it. You can choose any one of the branches at 10. They each have a common factor of 10. So you should see that there's a 10 in the 20, a 10 in the 30, and a 10 in the 60. So the largest or the greatest common factor of each of those is 10. Now factor means a number that multiplies another number. So when they say greatest common factor, the largest number that multiplies the other numbers in there that is the same in all 3 of them is 10. 10 is a number, right? Greatest common factor is 10 in this case. So you can divide each of them by 10 and you'll get the rest of the numbers out. And that's what we want to know. What's the largest common factor or greatest common factor? Now let's have you try one. I have 65, 145 here. Pause the video and see if you can do the factor tree and then see if you can find it. And I'm going to do it here in a moment. Alright, I'm going to do this one. We're going to factor this out, and we have 5 times, if you don't know what it is, you can use a calculator or do the division on the side. 65 divided by 5 goes in there once. Sometimes they get a little big. 13. This one I know is 10 times 10, but I can keep going. 2 times 5 and 2 times 5. 9 times 5. Now again, we're looking at the ends, so I'm just going to highlight them. Only look at these end of the branches. They're all prime. Greatest common factor should be the same number they have in common. I see a 5 in each of them. And there are no 13s, right? So we're done. Doesn't matter which 5 you choose, the greatest common factor is 5. That's it. It's the biggest or largest number that they each have in common as a factor. Okay, so that's how you find the greatest common factor if you need it. If you have any questions, let me know.